Hello you guys, my name is Sparks of Imagination here, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking to you guys about why Figment is my favorite Disney character of all time and why I have such a huge obsession over such a lovely, very adorable purple dragon that was created by the legendary man himself, Tony Baxter. So let's go on ahead and get started with today's video. Now, being someone that I am, yes, I do love Figment. I think Figment is one of the most adorable Disney characters out there that barely anyone knows about. I've been a Figment fan for at least almost 3 years now, and I have a total obsession over this amazing yet adorable purple dragon that you see on my shirt here. And I love Figment so much. I think he is a lovely character, and I think that he has such a lovely community of members who love such a character that was created by the man himself, Tony Baxter. So, Figment, I love him so much. But my question to myself is, why do I love Figment so much? Why is he such a character that I have such a huge passion for? Like, what is the story behind me having such a huge passion for such a adorable character like Figment himself? So let me go on ahead and explain to you something about Figment. Now, for those of you that don't know, this is Figment. Of course, he is the popcorn bucket that I have right now, but Figment is a purple dragon that was created in the 1980s by a man named Tony Baxter alongside with his best friend, the Dreamfinder. I did cosplay for him earlier this Halloween, and of course it didn't look exactly just like the Dreamfinder, but I'll probably have a picture of it, maybe like right there or maybe right there. You guys will probably see him. I did cosplay as the Dreamfinder. Now, just want to let you know that yes, it was not exactly the Dreamfinder, but I was trying to copy a Dreamfinder cosplay outfit from the Marvel comic books of Disney Kingdom's Figment. Now, just as a friendly reminder, Figment was, once again, as I will say, that Figment was created in the 1980s by a legendary Disney Imagineer named Tony Baxter. And there was a ride in Epcot that is still there that is called Journey into Your Imagination with Figment, or Journey into Imagination with Figment. It's going to be one of those two. I might be wrong, so let me know in the comments below. Now, being someone that I am, yes, I do love Figment. I think Figment is one of the most adorable Disney characters out there that barely anyone knows about. I've been a Figment fan for at least almost 3 years now, and I have a total obsession over this amazing yet adorable purple dragon that you see on my shirt here. And I love Figment so much. I think he is a lovely character, and I think that he has such a lovely community of members who love such a character that was created by the man himself, Tony Baxter. So, Figment, I love him so much. But my question to myself is, why do I love Figment so much? Why is he such a character that I have such a huge passion for? Like, what is the story behind me having such a huge passion for such a adorable character like Figment himself? So let me go on ahead and explain to you something about Figment. Now, just as I would like to remind that I was introduced to Figment because of a friend. And we're no longer friends anymore, which I'm pretty bummed about, but it happened a while back. I was introduced to a character that they would call Figment, and he was making a statement on a Discord chat that I was having with him that Disney was planning to get rid of Figment. And I was very, very curious at the time of who is Figment and what is this character that I have no word or like any sort of knowing about. And as I looked into the Wikipedia that I used about who Figment is and looking up images of artwork and pictures of Figment, of him like coming from art pieces to merchandise to being an official mascot for the Epcot Pavilion or the Imagination Institute, I fell in love with Figment. It took me some time, of course, because, you know, as someone who was somewhat into Disney things, even though we did take a few trips to Disneyland and all that kind of stuff, which I mean, I still miss going to that park, but you know, it's nothing more like me trying to go to Walt Disney World and explore that theme park. Like, dude, I can't go to Walt Disney World because it's literally on the other side of the United States and it's so much money to try to travel to somewhere. Like, yeah, I hate the fact that I can't go to Epcot and go see Figment for myself and ride the ride itself, Journey into Imagination with Figment, with Dr. Nigel Channing, and sadly with not Dreamfinder. Oh, then on top of the fact that you can now meet Figment in person in a meet and greet, which I hope that in the future I can actually do something like that. But anywho, going back to the story, I was introduced to Figment by a friend of mine, and like I said, we're sadly no longer friends. And you know, it's kind of a somewhat short story of how in the world I was introduced to Figment. Of course, I already explained to you guys that story. Now, the other question is, where did all my Figment stuff come from? Because trust me, I have a lot of Figment stuff. I've shown it on my TikTok pages. I've shown it on my social pages. Be sure to check out my Instagram, by the way. I will be sure to link it in the description below. And if you guys want to follow me for any more kind of sneak peeks or content or anything like that, be sure to hit me up on Instagram, and I'll be sure to accept your follow request so that we can go on ahead and have a really, really nice interaction with each other. But anyways, done with that advertisement sponsorship bullcrap. So, anywho, I was introduced to Figment because of a friend. And yes, as I will say again, it took me some time to get introduced to such a character. And of course, further down the line, I was introduced to other hobbies, and I left those hobbies because, you know, I didn't like the hobbies whatsoever, and, you know, I just moved on from that kind of stuff. But I got back into loving Figment just a few months later. I started loving Figment. And of course, at the time, I didn't exactly get anything Figment related. All I know was that Figment was just a purple dragon who is the mascot for the Imagination Pavilion in Walt Disney World at Epcot, in that, you know, really shiny glass building, what used to be Journey into Imagination, before it was turned to what we now know as Journey into Imagination with Figment. And yes, I would love to ride the ride, both the original one and the brand new one, because I want to at least compare what the rides are about. I mean, like, I can now ride the original ride on VR chat on my computer and all that kind of stuff, which, by the way, amazing. I cannot describe how many times I cried like a freaking baby because it's the freaking original ride of Journey into Imagination. Like, how embarrassing is that for someone like my age to just go on ahead and sob like a freaking baby because he went on VR chat and he was shown the original ride of the Journey into Imagination where Dreamfinder actually appeared. Like, bro, that's crazy. Like, that's rare to see something like that. But of course, it just really shows that there are people out there who love this character and who have a fan base, a massive fan base like community filled with people who have similar interests and similar passions and loves for a character named Figment. And of course, alongside Dreamfinder. No wonder why there's a lot of people that are always requesting for Walt Disney to bring back the Dreamfinder and replace him from Dr. Nigel. I mean, like, I'm not gonna say anything, right? I don't want to be in the drama or anything like that. I mean, as much as I would love to see the Dreamfinder return at some point, it would definitely make a lot of people happy. But as of right now, hopefully, I'm just hoping in the future, and fingers crossed as well, that we'll be able to see the Dreamfinder make a massive return to the Walt Disney World and return to Epcot and go back to where he belongs, back at home at the Imagination Pavilion, or known as the Imagination Institute. That's if you have read the Marvel comics of Figment made by Magic Kingdoms. As I started getting further introduced to the character named Figment, I started having more of an obsession and fan base, and being introduced to other friends that I am now friends with who have the same interests as I do, who is someone that loves a purple dragon named Figment, and of course has a love and passion for a character named the Dreamfinder. Now, of course, if you look in the background right there, I do have a custom top hat of the Dreamfinder, which that was the one that I wore for Halloween this year, which by the way was a massive success. I loved the costume and I got a lot of compliments on it. Of course, I was asked like, who the heck is that character? Why is there a dragon on your shoulder? And I was like, oh, I'm supposed to be the Dreamfinder, you know, it's because, you know, I love Figment and I love the Dreamfinder, so why can't I be dressed up as that character? So yes, I just love Figment, you know? I've started getting a lot of Figment stuff, which by the way, I got plenty of more Figment stuff on the way, so yes! I got a lot of Figment stuff, from backpacks to ears to the popcorn bucket that I earlier showed you. And then of course, I got Figment plushes. I have currently two Figment plushes right now. I have plans to get more because, you know, it's Figment stuff. And then of course, even my phone case for my own darn phone is Figment related. Like, I can't even tell you. Like, I will literally show you, look. It's Figment. Like, I'm telling you, when I say that I'm obsessed with the character named Figment, I mean it. It's what happens when someone is introduced to a character by an old friend of theirs. They start going onto Wikipedia or just searching it up on Google, just typing it away with their freaking big fingers. And they finally find out that this is who Figment really is, and this is who the Dreamfinder is. And then all of a sudden, they start getting into more of the lore and then the backstories and where Dreamfinder and Figment came from. And then they start reading the comic books. They started watching YouTube videos. They start drawing fan art of Figment, like those two that are right over there, right on the wall. This is what happens when I'm obsessed with the character named Figment. And not like I'm disappointed or angered at myself because I'm a fan of Figment, but it's because it's me letting people know that, hey, I love this character. I think he's the best character that ever existed from Disney. Like, I love the little guy. He has such an amazing personality, even though in his description he's childlike and all that kind of stuff. He's got childish delights and all that kind of stuff. And not like there's a problem with that, because I like having to know a character that has somewhat the same personality as what some others would have. They're bubbly, they're joyful, they're filled with sparks of imagination. And that's who Figment is. And that's why I find Figment being such an amazing character to have such a love and passion for. Because it kind of relates to my sort of personality, because I've been told numerous times that my personality is very bubbly, which I don't find that offensive. I mean, okay, I find my personality being like normal, just like what other people would say. I'm normal. I'm a normal man with just obsession and, you know, with a character named Figment. But I'm being serious here. Like, I love Figment. Yeah, like, I like him. I think he is an amazing character that in hopes in one day I will actually be able to make that chance and make the dream come true where I'll be able to meet Figment himself. It's been my dream to meet Figment in person, a meet and greet, and of course getting as much Figment stuff as I possibly want to, because I mean the biggest things that I've always wanted from Disney is just Figment. That's it. I'm only hunting down for Figment things. That's it. That's all I can tell you, because as much as I have the collection continuing and continuing and continuing to grow, I'm still getting Figment stuff. Is it gonna stop at some point? It's going to. I know it has to. I don't have a choice. I mean, it's better to stop at some point than continuing and continuing, as if you're flexing to be the biggest character collector of all time. Like, no, I'm not doing that. I mean, I like Figment, but do I necessarily need everything Figment related? Kind of. Kind of do, kind of don't. But at the same time, it's just the fact that I have stuff of my character, of Figment, that I can actually take a look at, enjoy, hug with it, you know, all that kind of stuff. Take it along on my adventures with me, because trust me, I even have a Figment Loungefly bag, and you know what, I take it everywhere where I go, especially if I'm going grocery shopping, and I can't even imagine telling you how many times that people stare at my freaking Figment bag or my Figment stuff because they think it's cute, or they're just always curious, like, who is that character? And of course, you know, as the person, I always feel proud to explain to them who Figment is and where he came from and who created him and, all that kind of stuff. Like having to explain the entire backstory of who this character is. Not like there's a huge problem with that. I mean, trust me, I'm sure if someone was asking you, like, who is this character? Like, they want to know about it. Don't be rude, just be nice. Be like, hi! So, this is Figment. He is a purple dragon who was created by the legendary Disney Imagineer himself, Tony Baxter, which, by the way, I also hope to meet in person too, because trust me, I would love to show him all the Figment stuff that I have. But I know he's more of a legendary guy because he is the guy who created Figment. And that's it. Like, we all know where Figment now comes from and, what his entire backstory is. Which, even though I didn't give you the entire backstory, you can still look it up on Google and ask away, like, hey, who is Figment? And, where did he come from? And all that kind of jazz. Because, trust me, even Wikipedia will tell you that there's a whole story of Figment. Like, and where he is. Like, I know that Figment is in Disney Speedstorm, which, by the way, I love that game so much. Even if people are saying it's a freaking Mario Kart ripoff, I do not care. It's freaking Disney related. Like, I love Disney Speedstorm. I actually like Disney Speedstorm more than Mario Kart, only because it's more entertaining, and you just don't go straight to racing like what Mario Kart does, especially on the older consoles for like the SNES, the N64, the Nintendo Switch, all those kinds of consoles, even though I do prefer the older generation Mario Karts like Mario Kart Wii, Mario Kart 64, and Mario Kart SNES. Like, yeah, like I love the older generation Mario Kart games, even though I was really upset at myself because I never had the chance as I grew up to play Mario Kart Double Dash. Boo me on that. I can't explain enough how upset I am because I never had the chance to play a game like that. I think it would have been such an amazing experience for me to play such a game like that. But going back to the story, Disney Speedstorm has Figment in it. Do I race him all the time? Do I drive him all the time? Yes, I do. You know why? Because he's Figment. And because of the fact that I love Figment and I love using him a lot, he's the character that I just always want to drive. No matter what day, what time of day, what time of night it is, I'm just going to hop on straight onto my PlayStation, hook up my controller, go straight into Disney Speedstorm and ignore Gran Turismo 7. Ignore the other games, especially the Lego games. Forget all those games. I'm going straight to Disney Speedstorm because there's Figment in the game. Like, I know that sounds so much coming from my mouth, but you know what? I'm just keeping it at that. I don't care if he's in, if he's in the game and all that kind of stuff. I know he's in the game, guys. Trust me. I know he's in the game. And I love Figment. And knowing me as, as the person myself, I love Figment for, how many times did I mention that? 5 times now? Oh gosh, I'm going crazy just for this character. Like, I will drive him to the moon. Like, I will not take a break from driving Figment in Disney Speedstorm. I will not take a break about talking about Figment because literally almost every single TikTok video I've made in the modern days are all nothing but Figment related. Every post I posted on my social pages are all Figment related. Almost every single picture that I posted on my social platforms, like, they all have Figment in it. It's everywhere. Like, I can't even tell you how many posts from all of my social pages where they have Figment in it. Like, I'm telling you guys, when I'm obsessed, this is what happens. This is like what I would like to call a consequence. This is a consequence whenever I am so obsessed with the character that I just never taken a break from him, and now here we are. I have way too much Figment stuff, and I got plenty more coming because it's Figment. And like I said, I don't feel bad that I have a passion for a character because everyone else has passions for characters. Like, I know there's a lot of people out there who love Mickey Mouse. I know there's a lot of people who like characters like Woody Woodpecker or characters like Gumball or Darwin from The Amazing World of Gumball. Like, I'm sure everyone out there has their own favorite cartoon character or just character in general, from animes to movies to all that kind of stuff. We all have our own passions and love for characters, and there is no problem with that. I know that there are plenty of amazing characters out there that always melt your heart every time you see a post about them. Like every time when I go onto TikTok and I see Figment stuff, like Figment videos or Figment whatever it is, yeah, I love it because it's Figment. You know, I like him. I love the character, you know, and it doesn't hurt me to just watch a good enough, like, almost 10 freaking minute TikTok video over someone talking about Figment and why they love Figment and all that kind of stuff. And then of course the Disney Parks official account making a lot of brand new Figment stuff, which by the way, I want to see more because I love Figment. And I know there's a lot of people out there who are also Figment fans, and they kind of just want to see more of it, you know, because I'm seeing as Figment getting the love and passion that he deserves, because Figment has been forgotten about for quite some time, and now knowing that the Walt Disney Company has been recognizing that Figment has not really been getting the spotlight, he's now getting the spotlight, and now we're seeing a lot of brand new Figment stuff, from merchandise to now being able to have a meet and greet in Epcot at the Imagination Pavilion after you get off the ride, journey into Imagination with Figment, where Dr. Nigel Channing is currently in. But trust me, it was such a miracle when I heard the announcement that Figment is now having his own meet and greet in Epcot. And it's been on my mind for a long period of time that I've always wanted to go see Figment in person. And will it happen someday? I'm just keeping my fingers crossed. I'm not saying that it's going to happen. I mean, I would love to see Figment. I don't care what it's going to take for me to go see him. I want to see Figment because I want to let him know that I love him very much as, you know, as my most favorite Disney character. And aside from the fact that Figment is a part of my imagination, and Figment is just that one character that I just care about. And I love seeing him being everywhere. I love seeing him getting the love that he deserves. Because, trust me, there's always going to be a character out there that's going to need love and respect and passion that it deserves. Because they just seem to be forgotten about. Because fans have just been pushing them away and they just don't really care about the character anymore. Like, it's kind of like with the same thing when it comes to the Dreamfinder. We all know that there's a lot of people out there, especially for the Figment lovers, that they all love Dreamfinder. And they all want to see the return of Dreamfinder. And I do too. I would love to see the Dreamfinder return. And not saying this as a suggestion towards the company, but it would just be great to see the Dreamfinder make a reunion with his creation of Figment, a figment of his imagination. It would be such a wonderful, wonderful feeling for Figment fans from the past and then into the future, now beginning to see what will become the return of the Dreamfinder. Like, it would be such a miracle for so many people, especially for all those, like I said, Figment fan people. Because I know so many people want to see them return. They want to see the reunion that will forever come true and forever will stay together for as long as time will tell. Now, of course, to end the video here, because I know this has been a very, very long video, especially about me over exaggerating and yelling from the top of my lungs about why I have a passion for Figment and how in the world I was introduced to such a character. I'm going to go on ahead and end the video here, but to end it all here, don't be embarrassed, don't be sad because you're in love with the character that you have a huge passion for. Sometimes people may look at you and be like, who the heck is this guy and why is he, you know, dressed up as whatever character he wants to be. Don't be upset at that, because trust me, if I can cosplay as the Dreamfinder and get looked at, I mean, I don't feel embarrassed. I feel proud because I'm showing the world that I have a huge passion for a character. And of course, at some point, I might even dress up as Figment. I might have my own Figment cosplay to wear at conventions like D23 or Comic-Con or all that kind of stuff. Even though, you know, D23 is also something I've been trying to get to, which, by the way, tickets are freaking expensive. Not like that's a huge problem or anything like that, but I would love to go to D23, aside from going to participate in a Disney marathon run, which I hope I can be able to attend something like that later on in the future. But just don't be afraid, don't be sad or anything like that if people start staring you down because, you know, you have a passion for a character. I mean, I've had this passion for Figment for almost 3 years now. I'm about to hit my 3 years here in the next 2 months, or not in the next 2 months, sorry, I'm hitting it next month. Yeah, next month is when I'm gonna be hitting my 3rd year because I was introduced to Figment in December. I believe it was December 13th or December 12th, one of those 2 days, where I was introduced to Figment himself by my old friend who texted me on Discord in the chat messages and saying that Walt Disney is planning to get rid of Figment. I remember so much that he was trying to get me to sign a petition of trying to keep the Dreamfinder, try to keep Figment alive and going well in the Walt Disney Company. But to sum it all up, Figment is my #1 favorite Disney character of all time. I don't care what other people think about that, because trust me, I know that you guys also have your own favorite characters like I do, and I don't feel disappointed whatsoever for being, you know, a grown man who loves a Disney character. Like, sure, it does seem a little bit childish for me to have such a passion for a character, but I don't feel anything. I mean, I cared about this character for a while, and I still am, and I don't feel ashamed about it. So, to end it all here, I thank you guys very much for watching for today's video, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to smash the like button, and don't worry, I will try to be making more videos here very soon because I know I've been very inactive, especially when it comes to making videos. I will try my best to make a return at some point when it comes to making more videos, especially if you guys want to see more of these Disney episodes and all that kind of stuff, because this is what this is going to be. This is going to be a Disney episode, and try to be making vlogs here very shortly too as well, even though trying to maintain that on a budget is kind of impossible. But anyways, that is the end for today's video. Once again, thank you guys very much for watching. My name is Sparks of Imagination, and I'll see you in the next video, and be sure to keep sparking with your imagination. Bye guys!